And what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Talking NASCAR podcast. This is episode number 66. I am back with the one and the only Hitmaster is back in action. Here we
Back in action. Let's go.
go. The first real weekend of the NASCAR season is in the books. Daytona is behind us. The first weekend of Daytona, at least. It was a crazy one. It was a wild one. Full of action. We'll get to all of that. We're going to recap the trucks, the Xfinity, and the Cup race. Got a couple of news things that stemmed from Daytona, but not a whole lot. And then so at the end, we will preview Atlanta. So, should be pretty good. Hitmaster, though, let's say what we're doing first.
Since I wasn't able to do the Daytona ones, we decided, so we already know who won the Daytona race, but we never got to really do our picks for Daytona. We got to do it for the duels. Never got to do it for the 500. And I don't want to just say, oh, let's just do the duels as our picks, because, that's just kind of weird. But just to prove that I don't have the winners, just in one, I have all. Let me get a flashlight up in here. I have all of them in here. All of them. Not just the winner and the second place driver and a couple other Hendrick drivers, but let's do it. For Tyler's, we've got, all right, Martin Truex Jr. We have to find out where he finished.
Oh, god damn it. He crashed.
And then for me, watch it be like Harrison Burton.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Cindric. I got Cindric.
Well, you won. Don't need to...
Well, still, I'm going to look at the standings.
Don't need to calculate that, because Cindric actually finished the race.
I thought Truex finished the race, too.
Fuckers. It's rigged. Rigged. Bias. It's all rigged.
Biased.
It's rigged. It's all rigged.
Well, technically, actually, you won.
What?
It says right here in the race that Austin Cindric finished 22nd.
What the fuck? Oh, because he crashed at the last lap.
15.
Let's go! Because Cindric crashed on the last lap.
In regular season, Tyler has the lead at 1-0.
It's not rigged. It's not rigged. Not rigged. I'm a winner. Oh, yeah. Winner.
I love how he just got upset at one point and then all of a sudden to find out that...
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's a good way to start off the day, isn't it? Anyway, we'll have to rewind a little bit. We're going to go back to the truck race for first part of this recap. This race was a wreck fest. I think there were 12 cautions during the race, which is it's actually a track record. Which is insane. It went to OT, not too surprising there. The biggest of the wrecks, a lot of them were like 3-4 truck incidents, or like maybe a single truck spin or something like that. But the last wreck was by far the biggest, and we saw a huge flip happen. The flip felt forced. It didn't look like it should have been a flip, but it became a flip at the very last second, which was weird. It just felt like I feel like you seen the scene from Talladega Nights when Ricky Bobby flips. It kind of felt like that, because it felt like someone putting an ignition under the car and just hit the trigger and boom, car flipped over, truck flipped over, whatever. But Nick Sanchez got the win, overcoming some early problems, getting some damage. He overcame that to get the opening win of the season. He was by far, and from what I last saw, I only saw like the last 30 laps of the race, But Nick Sanchez ran a really good race, so definitely a deserving winner there, with the entire field wrecking behind him. So that's how that goes. And then we were supposed to get the Xfinity race Saturday, but Mother Nature had other plans. So because of that, we will be talking about the Daytona 500 next, not the Xfinity race, because the Daytona 500 happened first. So let's talk about the Daytona 500. It was postponed to a Monday, 4 o'clock start. Only the second time I think it's been postponed to Monday. Second in most recent times postponed to Monday.
Yeah, I believe so.
The big one struck early on the 5th lap of the race, taking out Harrison Burton among a few others. After that, though, we got a pretty good long set of racing going. There was the stage cautions, but other than that, there really wasn't a whole lot of action happening. One thing that really I was questioning was during pit stops, doing the crank it up in the pits. That really confused me.
Same here.
Because they've always done
My dad was actually watching it for the first time since, because he stopped watching it after the stage came around. He hates the stages. He watched it and he goes, "What's this shit?" Because you're used to them going super fast, hearing the noise of the cars. That's what I wanted to wait for. But no, you just heard.
Yeah, and then they're in the pits. Like that was a really.
People want to hear like pit stop sometimes, but not when it's like that.
No, it was just a really odd placement for that. But the wrecks eventually came back. One did strike late, taking out a lot of big contenders. Me and my dad are in a fantasy league together. We're in a NASCAR fantasy league this year, and our first driver we picked was Daniel Suarez, and he was running in the top 5 and barely got caught up in that last big wreck. I thought he was going to make it through. He would have had like a top 5 pretty much guaranteed, but he got caught up in that and ended up finishing near the back, which sucked.
I do the same thing with some of my friends. We do a fantasy. And because, we did football this year, we're doing hockey this year, and now we're like, let's try NASCAR. Let's see how that works. If we want to do it next year, we can, or, I decided to try Harrison Burton. That lasted only 13 laps.
Why Harrison Burton? I must ask.
I'm one of those people where I want the Wood brothers to get their 100th win at Daytona. So most likely, next Daytona 500, I'm going to pick the 21 car. I want the 100th win at Daytona.
That would be cool, but
they're still
unlikely.
At 99.
Yeah, they've been at 99 for over 13 years now. Okay, oh no, not 13 years. I guess since like
what?
6, 7 years.
Was their last win in Trevor Bayne?
No, their last one was Brian Blaney. Actually, I forgot about that. So, forgot about that little stint he did. Anyway. We got the late wreck set up, not an overtime finish, which was kind of crazy, to be honest. I was surprising that there was no overtime. They were getting ready to come the white flag, and drivers were shuffling around. There was a lot of good racing in this race. I didn't watch enough of the truck race to really gauge if the racing was that good. But in the Cup Series, the racing was really good. High tension, but for the most part clean, which was really, really fun to watch. It made the race fly by, even though it took almost 4 hours to complete the race. Still felt like it really flew by. But they were coming to the last lap, and I was really expecting a really exciting final lap. And then Bubba Wallace decided, I'm going to wreck Ross Chastain right before they take the white flag, so the race ends under caution. Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric get caught up in an accident. Caution comes out right after they take the white flag. And the race ends under caution. William Byron gets the win.
Let me just say, to that day on Monday was I almost just said Jeff Gordon Enterprises. Oh my God, Hendrick Motorsports 40th anniversary. On that day, it was their 40th anniversary, and what a way to do it by getting 1-2 finish with Byron and Bowman.
Yeah, Byron got the win. Was not really expecting a bigger driver to win the race. So that was kind of interesting. Very controversial call, though, to end the race under caution. A lot of people thought the caution should have came out before they took the white flag so that they would have set up an OT finish. And while that would have been a very quick reaction to try and do that, I think it was definitely possible to wave the caution lights at least. But that didn't happen. And Byron gets the win, picking up where he left off last season with a really good season last season and getting the Daytona 500 here. So that's how that went. But I thought the 500 otherwise was a pretty good race. I thought, put on a good action throughout, and it was really, really exciting to see. So, not the result I would have really wanted. I was kind of pulling, for Suarez, and Chase Elliott had a chance at the end, but he couldn't pull it together, which kind of sucked.
Chase Elliott, I texted Tyler, how did Chase Elliott make it through that wreck?
Yeah, it was. I was wondering what you meant, and then I watched the replay and was like, "Oh shit, he really almost just did get caught up in that wreck." That's
because I was just watching Chase Elliott, and I was watching a little bit of Bowman just push Byron and just keep pushing him, and I'm like, okay, I played iRacing before. You don't push before you get to the turn. I know that for a fact. I was watching Chase Elliott, and I was surprised. My dad stopped watching it after that because he wanted Logano, since Logano had a fast Ford. He wanted him to win, but
Logano ran a great race. I was not the front row. I don't think we touched on this I don't think I touched this in the last episode. I'm probably dead. Logano and Michael McDowell got the front row, and I was really not expecting either of them to be big contenders for the win because the front row drivers usually aren't for the 500. McDowell was surely not. He had electrical issues early in the race and finished multiple laps down, but Logano had a very legitimate chance to win until he was caught up in that big accident. And I was getting a little worried that he might win because he had by far the best car. But as fate would have it, he did not. So, but still a really good race. Not everybody's happy with the results, but can't always have what you want. So, but that was not it.
I could hear boos.
William Byron is a very controversial driver, not necessarily because of what he says or what he does on the racetrack. It's because of who he supports, mainly his Liberty University sponsorship. Liberty University is known as a very, 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 very bad school because they're bad. You can look up why they're bad. I'm not going to say why they're bad here, but his sponsorship with them is a big reason why people don't like Byron. I don't agree with the sponsorship, but and nothing else I can really do about it, So
Byron's pace scheme was cool, though.
It was cool. I thought, pretty nice. So that was the Daytona 500, but that was not all the racing that happened Monday, because we got the Xfinity race afterwards. Whoa, some prime time racing there. This race was the only one that I actually got to watch the full Daytona 500, so I watched this one full too, but I watched it full live. And then in stage 1 for Xfinity, Late Rex set up a one-lap shootout, which I always think is funny. A little one-lap shootout for a stage. But it was also some really good racing overall. There were a lot of wrecks, kind of like the Truck Series. There was just a lot of wrecks over a really short period of time. which, yeah. So, and I gotta say, the broadcast for the Truck Series, at least what I watched, and the Daytona 500 broadcast, even, I didn't think were that bad. You know, there's going to be a lot of commercials, and you kind of get used to that. You know, I thought some of the ad placements were a little weird for the races, but the Xfinity broadcast was just absolutely horrid, in my opinion, for multiple reasons. For one main reason, you could tell that the broadcasters, like the announcers, were not actually watching the live race, and instead were watching the monitors, which were playing the TV broadcast. Because when a caution would come out and the cameras were not focused on it, they would be shooting, like looking up at the moon instead of, down at the racetrack. They would be like, and the announcers would be like, "Oh, caution's out. I think it's for debris." And then the cameras finally get to it, and there's like a 15-car pileup in turn 3. Like, how do you not see the wreck? That just doesn't make any sense. Why watch the actual track? You're there. You're at the speedway. Watch the race. Don't watch the TV monitors. Hey. Cat's trying to yank the cord out. I don't want to restart this. So we're going to try and... I'm going to block her with my leg. There we go. Anyway, I thought... And just like the camera work was not great either. And they just did not look happy to be there. Adam Alexander, I usually like him in the booth. I know that's not always a very popular take. But even back in his days with TNT, I did not mind him in the booth. He was not good. Michael Waltrip, not good. Phil Parsons, not good. I did not like any of them in the booth Monday night. And it might have just been because I was tired, and I really wanted to go to bed, and everything. But I just thought the broadcast was just absolutely atrocious. There was a lot of late wrecks, too, which did not make it any easier. And... Once again, there was a last lap crash. That this time though, they actually got to the white flag and somewhat raced. But the wreck took out pretty much everybody worth a damn, except for Austin Hill, who was able to sneak through and get the win comfortably as they raced back to the caution flag. Nobody was really there to contend with him. It was really an RCR-dominated night because they had the front row with newcomer... What's his name? I don't remember his name. What's his name? I don't know his name. Well, whoever's in the 2 car now, and Austin Hill, they... No, not Cindric.
Oh, wait. Xfinity. Who is in the 2 car, actually? That's actually now confusing me. Who is in the 2 car? By the way, continue.
But, whoever's in the 2 car, they got in a wreck and were really uncompetitive after that. But Hill, even after going and getting into multiple incidents, including pit road issues, was able to come through and get his 3rd straight win in the Daytona race, which was pretty amazing. For him to do. So
Jesse Love is in the 2 car.
Oh yeah, Jesse Love, that's the name. He did all right, I thought, for his Daytona debut. I thought he did good.
Just like a certain NFL player named Jordan Love, who was a piece of crap that we don't talk about.
A lot of Cup drivers did the doubleheader, including Daniel Suarez, who wrecked out early. And Haley Deegan was in this race. She wrecked early, too. Not too much of a surprise there, we'll say. Natalie Decker was also in this race. We had 2 female racers. And Natalie Decker didn't do that bad, honestly. She ran a pretty good race. I was not surprised. It was kind of surprising, but she did pretty good. But overall, I thought the Xfinity race was good. I thought the Xfinity race was the weakest of the 3 because the drivers played very conservatively most of the night. They ran single file for much of the first stage, and really took till the end of the race for things to really, really get interesting. Which,
And you got Shane Van Gisbergen.
This is true. This is true. Shane Van Gisbergen gets his plate debut, so that was cool. But overall, I thought it was a really good weekend of racing. Especially with the rain and stuff like that. I think it was really, really good. So, a good showing from Daytona overall, as you would expect. But it was a lot of fun. So, I don't know if you have any thoughts to put in, Hitmaster, before we move on.
I don't have anything, but other than I feel like this next race that we're going to talk about, it's just going to be junior motorsports, mostly, because it seems like super speedways are either RCR teams or junior motorsports that somehow, some way, come out of existence and just say, hey, look, I'm here. I'm going to win one race and then probably lose the other couple races.
I mean, to be fair, the junior motorsports cars really didn't have a chance to shine. Sam Mayer got caught up in an early accident. Brandon Jones was rather uncompetitive. Justin Allgaier had a good car, but he got caught up in multiple incidents throughout the race. And I don't even know who drives the 8 anymore, but they weren't really that competitive either.
I'm looking at it right now. Who drives the 8? By the way, Natalie Decker finished in 18th.
It's really good.
I mean, that was pretty good. Sammy Smith.
Sammy Smith's in the 8 car now. I forgot about that. Yeah, he did okay, but not really a super strong showing. So maybe they'll get a chance to work together at Atlanta. Who knows?
Justin Allgaier and Brandon Jones finished 8th and 9th.
But it was good. It was good. So that was it for Daytona. Closing it up in the books. Do have a couple of news things coming out of the Daytona race weekend. So specifically the Daytona 500. NASCAR is looking to slow the pace of the Daytona 500. I don't know why. The race took almost 4 hours. Seriously? I mean, that's long for a race. Probably for more ad time, more commercials. Probably why. They're going to say it's to make it safer, but cars are safe as shit now anyways. And really... whatever. They're also investigating the fuel mileage strategy that the Cup drivers used in the Daytona 500, which fuel mileage strategy was a huge thing. They were really emphasizing that during the broadcast. Drivers were not going 100% full throttle unless they were in the lead of a pack. They were running like half throttle to conserve fuel and try and draw it out. Which was really, really interesting to watch throughout the race, because usually, you got to hold your foot down and go full throttle whole time at like Daytona and stuff like that, but not here. They didn't do that there, so that was really weird. But I mean, we'll see what comes out of this investigation. I don't know why you would need to call it an investigation, but who knows? It doesn't really make any much sense to me. But also, the Powerball playoffs are back. That was the only other piece of news from this week that I have. The Powerball, remember the Powerball playoffs from last year? Well, it was a cool sweepstakes thing they got in to get drivers to go to the final race, or get people in a sweepstakes to go to the final race of the season at Phoenix. They're doing that again this year. Just announced that, so that's really, really cool. If you couldn't get it in last year, you didn't win, and you want to try again this year, you got another chance. So there you go.
And then sponsor us. Put a sponsor on a race car, just like how Pringles got on a race car last year.
Yeah,
just
baby.
Make sure to put Sun on it. Pringles Sun.
Yeah, baby.
And then it'll just show all of my YouTube pictures.
It'll happen.
I'm on the back.
It'll happen.
It will.
Regardless, though, that's actually all the news that I had for this week. It was another light news week. So, I mean, there's nothing I can really do about it. I don't have any NASCAR stuff to show off this week. The Dale Jr. cardboard cutouts in my room. So, where he'll probably stay for a while. So,
trying to find, is there anything... I'm going to look on Facebook here at Corrigan Oil. Cups, is it? Said shop visit, so I was just like, so on February 5th, this person posted on a thing that said that on a podcast, not our podcast sadly, but on our podcast, they were going to talk to the returning owner or promoter, Jim Leisure, of Corrigan Oil Speedway, at 9 p.m. I don't know what it's called. It was past. It's called Horsepower Happenings. Check out that podcast. Look up to find out more about Corrigan Oil. I'm looking to see where they talked to him. Let's see here. That was the 11th. Dirt lane models. Oh, I'm. That's right. Is this it? It says 2.5. Yeah, here it is. So, if you're wanting to look that up, I would highly suggest it. I might even listen to it after this, so to see what's going on, because that might tell you a lot about what's happening.
Be cool to see. So go check them out, and maybe they'll sponsor us.
Maybe they'll talk with us instead.
Yeah, they'll talk some NASCAR.
Maybe on our 100th episode, we go to Corrigan Oil and we do a podcast.
Live from Corrigan.
Stream it.
Oh my god! Yeah, we'll break into the track and do it.
We'll break in 60 minutes or 6 hours before the races even start, and we'll just say, "Hey, we're podcast people, and we're on our 100th episode, and we wanted to just talk about NASCAR and Corrigan Oil. Is that fine?"
Oh, that'd be so funny. That would be so funny.
I feel like they would, though, if we just let them know that, hey, can we do this thing? But then we would have to sign our wills.
Yeah, hey, if you do it on the racetrack, a car might run you over, but sign this so that we're not liable. Yeah, there we go.
Right. You could do it while they're doing the monster trucks, and just make sure to watch out for the wheels. Just aware.
You could do a live POV.
Oh, we're so running. Fun. Holy shit, dude.
Oh, guys, look! It's a monster truck! Oh, we get so many views. It's so good.
How Hitmaster and Pringleson died.
Oh, only you would die.
Oh, yeah. That's true. You're the one that's holding up the entire...
I'm eternal. See? That's kind of how that works, you know?
You die and then you re-come up incarnated as Pringleson.
Don't worry. Hitmaster will come back too. You know, it takes a process. It's
Maybe.
It's called, you know, like a 3D printer? It's that, but like spawning work. So it takes a few hours, but Hitmaster will be back. Don't worry.
Also, just one more thing before we talk about our picks for Atlanta. I can't believe it's already been past 1 year since this came out.
I saw that in the store the other day. Still, Target, I think it was. It was like a week
It's
ago
good.
at
I like
Target.
doing it. You have the little thing that can move the wheels. You can lift up the thing, but you have to pull back a little bit. You can do the engine. Have it sitting right here, right in front of a dealer part for some reason. All right, picks.
It's Atlanta time. All three series are in action this weekend. Trucks and Xfinity are both on Saturday, and Cup is on Sunday. I'm probably not going to be able to watch any of them because I have work.
I might be able to watch the one on Sunday. Just depends on um, what time it starts.
So, but that'll be fine. I'll probably record it or something. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, it's another super speedway race technically, since the new Atlanta reconfiguration, which is just bullshit. But
I hate it.
you can probably expect more of what we saw last week: tight racing, big wrecks, an unpredictable winner, that kind of thing. So, but it should be a lot of fun. It should be a good race. Hopefully, get another driver for the New Year's Eve Spectacular. William Byron was number 11 to be locked in this season, so that's really good. Maybe we'll get number 12 this weekend at Atlanta, so that'll be cool.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt the thing, but 6 hours ago, or I think they said 6 hours ago. Yeah, 6 hours or 6 days ago, they posted on their website, NASCAR did, the new game NASCAR Manager is now available. I kind of want to download it to see how it goes.
Interesting. Maybe you should do that.
It says, rise through the ranks and take the checkered flag to earn epic rewards in NASCAR Manager, the brand new mobile game from developer Hutch Games, now available on iOS and Android, combining the energy and excitement of NASCAR racing directly with the design and strategy of a manager-style game. So it's basically F1 Manager.
I mean, they have the
Just
same
NASCAR.
name pretty much, so
Exactly.
I would expect that.
Join a team and work as a unit, earning reputation. Yeah, it's just you could do weekly leagues and all that and stuff like that. I'll have to try it.
Interesting.
All right. Let's get to the picks. For the truck series, who do you got?
Oh yeah, I forgot we gotta do all three. This is a tough one. Because I didn't really get to watch a lot of the truck race, so this is gonna be the hardest one for me to gauge.
And it's gonna be a wreck fest either way. So.
Well, that's a given. I'm gonna go Nick Sanchez for a back-to-back. I think he's gonna carry the momentum and get the win. Wouldn't be the first time someone's won the first two races of the season, so.
I had two choices to choose from. One of them's a Ford, one of them's a Chevy. I'm going with Raja.
Ooh.
I
Interesting.
was going to go with Matt Crafton, but I think Raja, since he's in a good team, I think he'll be good for this Atlanta race.
He's been improving. He had a good Daytona race from what I could see and was pretty competitive. Yeah. So it's not a terrible pick. I would not a terrible pick for one at all.
I'm gonna go with Raj.
All right, now who are we thinking is going to win this Xfinity race?
All right, for the Xfinity, So, I think the man that's going to win is the guy that has the first four letters of my first name and almost the whole rest of my last name. I'm going to go with Garrett Smithley. Why? It's freaking Atlanta.
Crazier things have happened. For sure.
I'm going to go with Garrett Smithley.
For sure. I am going to pick... Ooh. I'm going to pick... I picked him last week. I can't pick the same guy twice. You know... when all logic says to go bold, you go bold. Picking Haley Deegan.
The Xfinity Series, huh? Not going for Natalie?
No. Not bold enough. All right. To Cup predictions.
So since Tyler won the first round...
That's right, baby.
After the first time, he will get to go first. So now, watch you get Martin Truex Jr. again. And Joey Logano.
Damn it. Fuck.
If it was just last week, maybe.
Now I have to root for him. I don't want to. Nobody wants to root for him.
You can still root for Chase Elliott. It's just that to go undefeated still, you might want him to get in front of me. My pick, probably going to be Josh Berry, to be honest with you. Oh, no. Kyle Busch. This is going to be a close one.
Two good picks. As much as I hate to say Logano is a good pick, it is a good pick.
So. I'm just going to put my penny back into its rightful place. And the chicken nugget that Tyler thinks this is.
I thought that was a chicken nugget.
I'm not gonna let you off on that.
It looks like a chicken nugget. What can you say? Anyways, guys, that was it for this episode of the Talking NASCAR podcast. In next week's episode, we'll recap Atlanta's shenanigans and preview shenanigans at Las Vegas. That should be all good there. Hopefully there's a little bit more news to talk about as well. But if you want to be a guest on the Talking NASCAR podcast, all you got to do is go join the Pringles and the Company Discord. Link is in the description down below. Request the Talking NASCAR role from either me or Hitmaster. We'll get it to you. We'll get you schedule you, get you a time to get on here and talk all things NASCAR. Should be awesome. Should be really, really good. But anyways, that's going to do it with this episode and this video. Stay tuned for much more amazing content from both me and from Hitmaster. And until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.